Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be revamping my series Waking Up with Richie. So if you guys want to see my new series, keep on watching. First, I want to give a shout out to my very much appreciated Patreon members. Thank you guys so much for your support over there on Patreon. I hope you're enjoying all of my content, and if you want to get to know me on a deeper level, definitely check out my Patreon. I also have a program on my Patreon called the VIP Candle Collective, where you receive a new candle from me at the beginning of each month, and it's a great way for me to get some feedback on new scents that I'm going to be launching on my website. So check it out, guys. So I have my Waking Up with Richie mug right here. Thank you to Alan for creating this for me. He actually sent this to me along with another one, I don't know, 3 years ago. So that just kind of shows you how long ago I started this series. I'm going to set this down. So I decided to revamp this series because I find myself watching a lot of podcast videos, and it's the main way that I get my news and just figure out what's going on in the world, especially a lot of controversial subjects that I might not have otherwise learned about. So the purpose of this series is for me to share 3 current events with you guys and to provide some of my feedback on them, as well as hear some of your feedback on them. I just think it's a great way to start a discussion and to talk about more than just the previous topics of my channel. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. It is going to be sort of a testing phase to see how this is received from you guys. So definitely let me know what you think about the Waking Up with Richie videos. So I have my 3 current events that I've picked out, and I can't wait to share them with you, so let's get started. So, recently, the Guinness Book of World Records named the oldest living dog as a 23-year-old Chihuahua from Ohio. So this Chihuahua, his name is Spike, and he was found in a grocery store parking lot by a woman who actually lives at a farm. So, I mean, when you talk about the right place, right time, this feeds right into that. So he was found 13 years ago at a grocery store parking lot, and after talking with some of the clerks at the grocery store, her name was Rita Kimball, she found out that had just been feeding him different scraps of food, and he had been there for the past 3 days. So she took it in her hands and she decided to take the Chihuahua home, and at the time he was 10 years old, so he was already kind of a mature, not even kind of, he was already an older dog, and just the fact that she took an older dog in shows a lot about her character. My mom actually adopted a 14-year-old, what kind of dog was he? It's just escaped my head. If she's watching this, she's going to be so mad at me, but she adopted a 14-year-old dog, and we knew that he was sort of on his last leg, but when we saw him at the shelter, she couldn't let him go. She just wanted to provide a great life for him in his last days. So she had him for about 1.5 years afterwards until we had to put him down due to health reasons. But I think it's a great thing when you see these stories of people adopting older dogs, or rescuing older dogs for that matter. Because it was clear that the Chihuahua had probably been dropped off by somebody else who didn't want to care for him any longer. She decided to name the Chihuahua Spike because he had the attitude of a larger dog that you would know as being named Spike. So that's her story behind his name. Chihuahuas in general tend to have pretty eccentric attitudes, if you will, so I think it's a really cute story, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. Do you have any dogs older than 10 years old? Because, you know, after they hit that 10-year mark, it's usually time to slow down, and the dogs tend to kind of lose a lot of energy and become more lethargic. I actually had a dog, my childhood dog, his name was Bruno, and I made a video about 1 year ago, but he had to be put down because, he just started having arthritis problems and he wasn't wanting to get up to go to the bathroom, and it just became. My dad just came to the conclusion that it was time to put him down, and he is buried in my childhood backyard, and my dad planted a tree on top of him. I just think it's great to turn those sad moments into meaningful moments. So what do you guys think about that story? Isn't that cute? A veterinarian determined his birthday to be November 10th, 1999. I think they go in through the teeth, and that's how they discover how old they are. But I don't really know how he can decide which month he was born in, but very cool. Let's move on to the next current event. I just love this mug, and I cannot wait to get more Waking Up with Richie merch. I've already been thinking about like a neon sign, which would be really cool in the background, but we'll get there. Okay, the next story. Kim Kardashian buys a Tala cross pendant once worn by Princess Diana in 1987 at a charity event. And guys, I just want to say a little precursor really quick. I don't want to touch on any political or controversial dark topics. I really want to keep this kind of not mediated, but I want to keep these videos lighthearted. So I don't want to cause any division in my subscribers or anything like that. So if you find that I'm reporting on topics that you aren't interested in, definitely let me know that, and maybe I can move to more controversial topics. But just for starts, we're going to keep it easy. So yeah, guys, Kim Kardashian bought a cross necklace that was once worn by Princess Diana in 1987 at a charity event. Okay, so she bought the large amethyst and diamond crucifix for a whopping $197,000 at a Sotheby's auction. The gem-encrusted crucifix was sold in the last 5 minutes when Kardashian's rep outbid 3 other competitors. Sotheby's head of jewelry said, "We are delighted that this piece has found a new lease of life within the hands of another globally famous name." So here's a picture of the necklace worn by Princess Diana in 1987. It's truly breathtaking, and I thought it would be interesting to share that with you guys because a lot of you guys know that I like to wear my crucifix. It's not diamond encrusted, but it's still pretty, and it is silver, so I like to wear it. I think it gives me good luck and protects me, sort of how people who wear an evil eye believe that that protects them from negative demonic energy. So what do you guys think about that? Isn't that kind of cool? I mean, I'm sure many of us would buy these famous artifacts if we had the means to do so. So I know there's going to be people out there like, oh, Kim Kardashian again, ruining pop culture, ruining history. Many of you guys know that she wore Marilyn Monroe's Happy Birthday, Mr. President dress for last year's Met Gala, and that caused a huge amount of controversy, but I think it's cool, I do think that we should take a certain amount of precaution and have a certain amount of respect when dealing with these historical artifacts, but overall, I think there's no harm in giving them a new lease of life. Now, she didn't buy Marilyn Monroe's dress, she just wore it briefly on the red carpet and then took it off and switched it with a replica dress. But if you think about it, Kim Kardashian is pretty much the Marilyn Monroe of our generation. Everybody knows about her no matter what age you are. Everybody's seen her. Everybody would freak out if they saw her in public. I don't care what you say, okay? If you saw her, you would whip your phone out or you would turn your neck. I mean, come on. So I just think it's cool, and it's better to go in her hands rather than somebody who might just keep it hidden for the rest of their life. Because I'm sure we will be seeing her wear it on a certain occasion. Alright, so let's move to the last current event. So the last current event has to do with aviation. I love aviation. I love anything to do with airplanes. And I might even start sharing some news in aviation. I just don't know how big of an audience I have that is into that topic. So You guys let me know that too down in the comments. So Elvis Presley once had a jet that he traveled all around the country in, and he actually did not have this jet for very long before he passed. But the red and silver 1962 Lockheed 1329 Jetstar sold for $286,000. This did not include the avionics or the engines. But when I saw this, I was like, wow, I would think that that would go for a lot more, even if it is just the skeleton of the airplane. The 60-year-old jet is one of 202 Jetstar airplanes produced by the Lockheed Corporation. Presley purchased the jet for $840,000 from Omni Aircraft Sales on December 22nd, 1976. The famous jet includes 6 passenger seats with swivel recline functions, as well as custom red upholstery and wood paneling with gold finish hardware. So back then, in the 70s, that was certainly the way to go, the way to decorate. The house that I grew up in was built in the 70s, and I have a real fascination for architecture and just the way things were built in that era, because it seems like there was a lot more creativity and things were just created with more thought. So nowadays things are more massively produced, and you really don't come across custom red upholstery, and wood paneling for that matter. And if you do, it doesn't look anything like it did back in the 70s. So whoever bought this jet is a lucky person, because Presley purchased the jet for $840,000, back in the 70s. So they saved around almost $600,000 on the purchase of this airplane. I would think that it would go for at least $1 million with the history and the story of the jet. The king of pop, is that what they called him? Or, oh, I'm probably embarrassing myself, but I wasn't the biggest Elvis Presley fan. There are a few songs that I like, but I don't really know any of his lyrics off the top of my head, except like, I'm a blue Christmas, or that other Santa song. What's the other one that he does? Here comes Santa Claus, riding down Santa Claus Lane. Those are like the only 2 songs I know by him. But he was definitely a solid figure in our pop culture and in American history. So there was a cassette player, lavatory, television with VCR, and a microwave included on the jet. And the jet will require disassembly in order to be shipped to the person who purchased it. Now, I couldn't find who purchased it on the article, but I'm sure they're wanting to stay private, and they definitely got a deal on this jet. So let me know what you guys thought about that one. And that is the last of my current events for Waking Up with Richie, episode 1, season 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought about it. Which topic stood out to you the most? Also, if you want me to talk about any topics going on in the world right now and kind of shed some light on them, feel free to leave those down in the comment section as well. Overall, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it brought you joy or excitement, or maybe you learned something new. Hopefully one of those 3. Let me know what you guys thought down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed it, give me a like. That helps me out a lot on here. Also, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.